John Fitzgerald Jack Kennedy was born on May 29, 1917 in Brookline, Massachusetts. His family was full of energy and big dreams. His father, Joseph Kennedy, believed strongly in hard work and often told Jack, "You can be the best at anything you choose." His mother, Rose, filled their home with kindness, faith, and warm stories. From the very start, Jack grew up surrounded by love and high expectations. As a child, Jack was not very strong. He suffered from frequent fevers, stomach problems, and even scarlet fever, a serious illness at the time. While his brothers and sisters played outside, he often lay in bed. Yet Jack did not let sickness stop his spirit. He discovered the joy of reading. Books filled his mind with faraway places, brave heroes, and grand adventures. Every story made him feel that he could be more than his small, sick body showed. Inside the Kennedy home, friendly competition was everywhere. 9 energetic children raced in the hallways, built pillow forts, and told jokes at the dinner table. Jack was not the fastest runner or the strongest boy, but he had a special gift. He was clever and funny. When his siblings argued, Jack would tell a simple joke. Laughter followed. In that moment, he realized the power of kindness and humor. He learned that making people smile could be a true strength. While his body rested, Jack's mind worked hard. If he felt too weak to rise from bed, he would ask his mother for books on history or maps of distant countries. He read about knights in shining armor, explorers sailing into the unknown, and leaders who changed the world. Each page inspired him. He imagined himself as a sailor on the high seas or a leader guiding people through tough times. Books became his friends, opening his mind to dreams bigger than his room. Summers at Hyannisport brought fresh air and excitement. The Kennedy family spent many days by the sea. Jack felt alive when he helped raise the sails of a small boat. He watched the wind catch the canvas and carry them across the water. In those moments, he learned early lessons in leadership. He learned to read the wind, trust his crew, and stay calm when waves rocked the boat. Each successful sail filled him with confidence. Jack's childhood days were full of contrasts. He knew the loneliness of lying ill in bed, but he also tasted the freedom of the open water. He felt the weight of family expectations, yet he experienced the warmth of shared laughter. He struggled with illness and then celebrated small victories, like learning a new word or finishing a chapter. Each experience shaped him. He discovered that true strength came from within, even when his body felt weak. Joseph and Rose Kennedy watched their son grow with pride. They saw Jack's curiosity and his gentle heart. They encouraged him to keep learning, even when school was hard. At the dinner table, Jack would share facts from his reading, and his family would listen in wonder. They saw how his mind traveled far beyond their Massachusetts home. With each book and each sail, Jack built a foundation for his future. By the time Jack was ready for school, his dreams were already clear. He did not just want to be successful, he wanted to make a difference. He wanted to lead with kindness, inspire through action, and stand up for people in need. His early experiences of illness taught him empathy. His adventures with books taught him imagination. His days on the sea taught him calm focus. All these gifts combined within him a spark of leadership. Jack Kennedy's boyhood was not simple or easy, but it was rich with lessons. He learned that hard work mattered, that preparation brought confidence, and that true strength was a blend of heart and mind. He discovered that laughter could heal, that imagination could free him from pain, and that caring for others was a powerful gift. These seeds took root in his young heart and would grow as he faced new challenges. From his first days in Brookline to the breezy shores of Hyannisport, Jack's story was one of hope and growth. He showed that a boy with fragile health could dream big dreams. He proved that imagination and kindness could shine brighter than any physical strength. In every page he read and every sail he guided, he built the character that would one day lead a nation. And so the boy born to dream began his journey toward a life of purpose and promise. When Jack Kennedy turned 18, he left home to study at Harvard University. He arrived full of hope and curiosity. At first, Jack loved life on campus. He joined clubs, made friends easily, and tried new experiences. He even played on the football team. Jack was not the biggest player, but he gave his best. During one practice, a hard tackle injured his back. The pain was sharp, and doctors asked him to stop playing. Jack felt disappointed, but he did not give up. He used the extra time to focus on his studies and to learn about subjects that truly interested him. Between classes, Jack loved to gather with classmates on the green lawn. He led friendly study groups where everyone helped each other. Jack had a talent for explaining difficult ideas in simple words. His friends admired how he made history and government come alive with stories. In his free moments, Jack wrote short essays about what he had seen and felt. He invited his classmates to write their own page about what I see in my future. By sharing these notes, they practiced their English and built confidence in speaking. During the summer, Jack traveled to Europe at his father's request. He visited Paris, London, Berlin, and Prague. In Paris and London, Jack admired beautiful buildings and famous art. But in Berlin and Prague, he felt a tense mood. Soldiers marched in the streets, and people spoke in hushed tones about war. Jack listened to families who had to flee their homes. He saw fear in their eyes. These experiences showed him that a leader must understand the world's challenges. Jack realized that reading books was not enough. He needed to see events with his own eyes. Back at Harvard, Jack used his new insights to write a major paper on why Britain had not acted sooner against growing threats. He turned that paper into a book called Why England Slept. Jack used clear language and real examples so everyone could understand. The book became a surprise success, and his professors praised his work. Jack felt proud, but he also felt a deeper responsibility. Words could inspire action. He urged his friends to write their own essays on how I can help others, helping them practice English and think about service. In 1943, Jack joined the U.S. Navy to serve in World War II. He became the commander of a small patrol boat called PT-109. The boat was fast but lightly armored. One night, under a dark sky, a Japanese destroyer struck PT-109, tearing the boat in two. Jack and his crew were thrown into the ocean. Amid broken wood and floating fuel, Jack gathered the survivors. He refused to let fear take over. For 6 days, Jack led his men on a tiny island with little food and no fresh water. When one sailor could not swim because of burns, Jack tied him to a life jacket and towed him through shark-filled waters to safety. Jack's bravery did not stop there. He found friendly islanders, asked them for help, and sent a message carved on a coconut shell. 11 alive need help. Islanders paddled to bring rescue boats, and finally, Jack and his crew were saved. His courage under pressure, his care for each sailor, and his calm leadership became a celebrated story back home. Jack received the Navy and Marine Corps Medal for heroism, but more importantly, he carried with him the lesson that true leadership combines calm thinking, selfless service, and the belief that one person can save many. In those years at Harvard and at sea, Jack Kennedy learned that hard work, clear communication, and compassion were the keys to true leadership. He saw how knowledge must meet action, how words can inspire change, and how courage shines brightest when it serves others. These lessons would guide him as he moved forward to serve his country in new ways. When Jack Kennedy won his seat in Congress and later the Senate, he felt a deep calling to serve his country. At just 43 years old, he decided to run for president. During the 1960 campaign, Jack traveled by train and plane across the United States. He met small groups of voters, listened to their worries about jobs, schools, and health care, and spoke with clear, hopeful words. People felt that he truly cared. When Jack faced Vice President Nixon in their first televised debates, thousands of families watched as he spoke directly into the camera. His calm voice and simple answers made complex issues easy to understand. On November 8, 1960, Jack Kennedy won the election by a narrow margin. He became the youngest man ever elected president in U.S. history. On January 20, 1961, he stood before the Capitol building and delivered his inaugural address. His most famous line was, "Ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country." These words inspired Americans to think of service and community. Learners of English around the world study that sentence because it is both poetic and straightforward. Soon after taking office, President Kennedy introduced his vision for America as the new frontier. He believed that the nation could overcome its greatest challenges by working together. He spoke about improving education so every child could learn well. He talked about reducing poverty so families could build safe homes. He imagined a world where Americans helped other nations grow stronger through friendship. One of Jack's first actions was to establish the Peace Corps. He invited young men and women to volunteer abroad, teaching English, building schools, and sharing skills with people in need. The Peace Corps sent Americans to villages and cities far from home. Volunteers braved new languages and customs with open hearts. They learned that sharing knowledge and kindness builds lasting bonds. Through simple projects like teaching children to read or digging a well, peace and hope grew around the globe. In 1961, Jack set a bold goal: to land an American on the moon before the end of the decade. He spoke at Rice University in Texas, looking out at students and teachers. He said, "We choose to go to the moon, not because it is easy, but because it is hard." With those words, he invited an entire generation to study science, to dream of space, and to believe that hard challenges bring great rewards. His clear language and powerful vision made space exploration feel both heroic and achievable. At home, Jack also faced the need for justice and equal rights. He watched brave Americans travel on segregated buses in the South and sit at lunch counters where they were not welcome. He knew that true freedom meant fairness for everyone, no matter their skin color. He sent federal marshals to protect peaceful protesters and supported new civil rights laws in Congress. He spoke of justice in simple, honest terms. The rights of every man are diminished when the rights of one man are threatened. Throughout his presidency, Jack Kennedy balanced hope with action. He met world leaders with confidence, urging calm words instead of threats. He encouraged his country to study hard, to serve others, and to reach for what once seemed impossible. His speeches were short, his phrases easy to follow, and his tone always warm. Although his time in office was brief, Jack's ideals lived on. The Apollo missions that followed fulfilled his dream of moon landings. The Peace Corps still thrives today, sending volunteers to learn and to teach. Civil rights laws advanced the cause of equality that Jack had championed. His simple, clear words continue to inspire English learners. They study his sentences to improve their language skills and their sense of global citizenship. John F. Kennedy showed that youth and vision can change the world. He taught that with kindness and courage, each person can make a difference. His new frontier of hope remains a guiding light, reminding us that simple words, honest service, and shared dreams build a brighter future for all. John Fitzgerald, Jack Kennedy, grew from a frail boy with many illnesses into a leader who inspired a nation. As a child in Brookline, Massachusetts, he learned to read and imagine great adventures while he recovered from fevers in bed. His quick humor and gentle kindness made his large family smile. At Harvard, he adapted after a football injury and used his curiosity to write a study of Europe before World War II. His book, Why England Slept, showed that clear words can change minds. During World War II, Jack commanded the patrol boat PT-109 in the Pacific. After his ship was cut in two by a larger vessel, he guided his wounded crew to a small island. He towed injured men through dark, shark-infested waters. He carved a rescue message on a coconut shell and found help from islanders. His calm courage under pressure saved lives and earned him a medal. After the war, Jack served in the U.S. House and Senate. He spoke simply about jobs, schools, and peace. In 1960, he won the presidency at age 43. He asked Americans to ask what you can do for your country. He launched the Peace Corps, urging young people to teach and learn abroad. He set a bold goal to land a man on the moon before 1970, saying, "We choose to go to the moon because it is hard." He also supported civil rights, sending federal help to protect peaceful protesters. Though his life ended suddenly in Dallas in 1963, Jack Kennedy's stories of hope, service, and bravery live on. He showed that one person's clear words and kind actions can inspire millions. From his life, we learn that dreams need action. Reading and learning open our minds, but courage puts ideas into practice. Helping others builds trust and hope. Facing challenges, small or large, makes us stronger. We can apply these lessons today by speaking kindly, listening to others, and taking one small step toward our goals each day. Congratulations! You have listened to the full story in simple English and practiced your listening skills. Now, let us test your understanding. Which lesson from Jack Kennedy's life do you find most inspiring? A. Turning challenges into opportunities. B. Speaking simply to communicate ideas. Please comment A or B below. We love hearing your thoughts. If you enjoyed this story and improved your English, please subscribe to our channel. Your support helps us create more quality content. If you can, consider donating so we can continue this work. We do this for free to help you learn English. Thank you for listening and for your kind support.